So like when we created this jam, like we just did a little bit of a market research, and then we found that almost 80 to 85% of the products that are available, is just sugar. If you look at the stats, you'll see that most of the obesity related issues and all this weight related issues and all this cardiovascular issues is because of excessive consumption of sugar. Like all of us, we do have a food technology background, so I guess it is a collective responsibility to come up with products that has some value. It's not really about the business. I mean, yes, I mean, like business is important, money is important, but I guess what is most important is leading with integrity, and creating products that we can feed our own families guilt free. We as a company would like to do the same for everyone.
Welcome to the Future Foodcast, food enthusiasts. We're excited that you're here for our episode with Vikas Nair. He is with True Choice Foods. And as you know, here at Future Foodcast, we are all about talking about trends, innovation, and also issues that are facing the food industry. So welcome, Vikas.
Thank you so much, Pam. So happy to be on the show.
We are really happy to have you. Can you give us a little bit of an idea of what you do with True Choice Foods?
So we started in the middle of the pandemic, to be more specific, in the month of February. So True Choice Foods, is basically about, creating a range of food products, that are innovative, and it has, some sort of functional value. In the sense, it is more focused on nutrition and not just calories.
What I really like about what you're doing, and let's talk about this a little bit, is your innovation is not creating new foods or a new idea. You're taking old standard foods that we know and love and changing them for the better. So tell us a little bit about that.
We happen to live in a country, I mean, especially North America, wherein, people like to really feel good about themselves, right? In the sense, people are always looking for better option, but then most people have conventional food choices. I mean, in the sense, let's say when it comes to breakfast, most of the people, they have, I mean, they would like to have jam on toast, right? But then let's say if we can give them a better quality jam, which has more nutritional value, I guess that is what the current audience is looking for. They are always looking for not a healthy option, but a healthier option. So that is what we are trying to do at True Choice Foods. So we take conventional food products and we try to reimagine it in a way, that it becomes an healthier choice for the audience. I mean, like for the customers, and I mean something which they can put in their body, you know, uh, I mean, without the fear of guilt.
I think that a lot of people eliminate certain things from their diet because they say, that is bad for me. Jam
Yeah.
is a great example. That's one of your first products.
Yes.
And, usually it has a lot of sugar, other ingredients that don't add anything nutritionally. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about what you've done for example, with the jam or another product, if you'd like, to make it healthier or a better choice so that someone can feel less guilty putting jam on their toast in the morning.
Yes. So what we've done with the jam, I mean, in the sense, in the first place, we didn't. So like when we created this jam, we just did a little bit of a market research, and then we found that almost 80 to 85% of the products that are available, is just sugar. It's just loaded with sugar. If you look at the stats, you'll see that most of the obesity related issues and all this weight related issues and all this cardiovascular issues is because of excessive consumption of sugar.
Mhm.
So initially we said, okay, you know what, it will be really difficult to change everything. So what we'll do is, we'll just work in stages. So in the first stage, what we did was, yeah, and then apart from sugar, you have a lot of preservatives and and like all these additives, fillers. I mean, which does not have any real value. I mean, it does have value, but it was relevant at certain point in time. Like for example, let's say if you were in the middle of a war, you need products that will last longer, right? Because times are really unconventional, but it is not relevant now. I mean, you definitely need a range of food products that are natural and which is focused. I mean, the main purpose of food is to provide nutrition, not just calories. But unfortunately, the focus is not on nutrition. It's just about creating business. So that's why we thought, okay, I think we have a chance. So what we did, as I said, we just worked in stages. In the first phase, we tried to eliminate all the artificial, like additives and fillers, because yes, it will help to look the food product really presentable. Like structure wise, but you don't really have to consume all that. So we just eliminated that, and we used brown sugar in the first stage, and then we tried to increase the protein a little bit. So it was not that much, but then what we used as a source of protein was whey protein isolate. We used a hemp seed, and then we used flaxseed. And then we said, okay, you know what, now let's try and completely eliminate the sugar. So we moved on to the second phase, wherein we replaced sugar with xylitol. Now, xylitol is a sugar alcohol, but then it has more functional value as compared to sugar. Basically, it has a lower glycemic index, so it will not spike your insulin. And at the same time, it has also been approved by the Ontario Dental Health Association. It is really good for your dental health as well. Yeah, so now you have a product. I mean, it is still a jam, but then now even that sugary stuff, has been replaced by a substance, that has almost similar properties of sugar. Let's say in terms of, I mean, it is still, I mean, it has, like almost similar antifungal properties, etc. But it's also good for your health. Yeah.
Well, what I'm hearing you say, for example, there is a very big trend to people eating healthier products
Yes.
and more natural products. So you're replacing some of those unnecessary additives or the things that might give structure to the jam and the feel of it,
Yes.
how it spreads, with the whey and the flaxseed and the hemp seed.
Yes.
That's all very positive. Plus, that's adding nutrition to the product, which is what consumers are looking for. And then on the other side, with the epidemic of diabetes and other health issues that are related to consuming too much sugar, that's all in the news these days about
Yeah.
how much sugar people are consuming, how much weight people are gaining. And the xylitol addition really does, because it doesn't hit your blood sugar, like you were saying, the
It
glycemic
will not
index.
spike insulin as much as sugar does. And at
Right.
the same time, it is, I think it gives about 40% less calories as compared to sugar. So like when it comes to weight management, it will automatically help you. And if you can do it with the help of the food that you consume, why would you pop like some random pill to control your weight? So that is the
Exactly.
whole idea behind True Choice Foods.
Exactly. That's all very exciting. And jam isn't your only product.
Yes, we just recently launched a True Choice ketchup as well. And the first range is with pea protein. So basically pea protein with xylitol. So basically higher protein and low calorie ketchup.
And ketchup is not a product that I think about having any protein in it at all. A
Yeah.
lot of us, and especially the sugar, it's just really
Yes, yes.
sugar with some tomato taste added. That makes those French fries that we probably shouldn't be eating either taste even better when you put them in some ketchup. But you've done the same thing with that product. Again, you're rethinking, some of the old standard products that we use and helping them to be a healthier choice for us.
Maybe it was.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we just love that. Well, tell me what kind of impact you'd like to make moving forward. What is your company? What kind of vision do you have for your impact?
In terms of impact, I would say like we just want to do a good job, a job that makes sense, and something that is relatable to the audience. Like what we are trying to create, is simple products that they love, and they can enjoy guilt free. And our message is, like all of us, we do have a food technology background, so I guess it is a collective responsibility to come up with products, that has some value. So it's not really about the business. I mean yes, like business is important, money is important, but I guess what is most important is leading with integrity, and creating products that we can feed our own families guilt free. we as a company would like to do the same for everyone.
That's a fabulous mission statement.
Thank
And getting started as a company, you mentioned at the very beginning, you didn't pick the easiest time to be an entrepreneur
you.
in the food industry. So
Yeah.
can you talk to the audience a little bit about some of the challenges you faced starting at the beginning of the or during the pandemic, and
Yes.
some of the issues that you faced?
It's kind of a paradox, I would say, because yes, it was not the best time, maybe, or it was the best time. I always wanted to create something, so that was a reason I graduated from a food manufacturing background. So, and about the right time, I like, we don't really know what is the right time, honestly, because, okay, let's say if it was 2022, like, you can't even say that with confidence at this point, you see, because we already have a new Omicron, that is ongoing already, right? So basically, there is no right time to start anything, you just started. So that is exactly what we did, we just started. But then the interesting thing was, like, we were aligned with our mission to create good products, so we just started. And since we just started, yes, we faced a lot of resistance. Uh, in the first place, I would say, even till this point, what we're struggling is with two things basically. It's time and capital. Because when you're starting with no capital, you need to leverage time to create capital, and then reinvest the capital to like to create more time. So it is really hard. It is really hard to do. And apart from that, you are involved in every aspect of the business, right from production to quality to sales, marketing, everything, right? And another thing is that since you don't have a very big team, you kind of figure out that all your weaknesses are exposed at once, and all this while you were thinking that, oh, I have three main weaknesses, and all of a sudden, life just shows you that it's not three anymore, it's 50. you know so
That
you
is
deal with
so
it.
true.
Yeah,
Thank you for being so authentic about that. When you are the entrepreneur and you are wearing all the hats of the
yeah,
different things, you focused on food technology in
yeah,
school. However, so much more is involved in the mission that you've taken on here,
right.
like you said, and raising money to then invest and going through the whole manufacturing and figuring out distribution. And the reality is that there isn't one person that can do all that. You're
Yes,
trying to keep all those balls in the air until you can get large enough to then hire
absolutely.
those out. And I think that's a real struggle that is
Yeah,
encountered by
always.
entrepreneurs, and especially in the food space. At least you have the food technology piece of it, which
Yes,
is the key. You're putting out some good products, and then we just need to get those marketed and let people know about them. Hopefully this podcast will help a little bit with that.
yeah.
Our audience.
That's why I'm actually so happy, because finally this message will be out, and hopefully we'll attract the right people, and we can build something, that will add value.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm super excited. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, we have lots of food enthusiasts out there that are listening in to our podcast. So we're very excited about that. Talk to me about on the front end. Did you have trouble with supply chain issues? That's really in the news these days, and trying to get some of your source products or ingredients for the products that you're trying to put together.
You see, when you're small, when you're just starting out as a company, the main thing is the quantity, right? You don't need too much quantity. So now the thing is, okay, let's say if you're sourcing your product from a retail store, and let's say if they run out of that ingredient, and you already have a production order, that is in process, then it becomes a real challenge, because you see, like, because like, your customers, they just need the product on time,
Mhm.
and you're in the middle of something. It is basically like a very big puzzle, I would say, that you don't have the product in the retail chain, like where you source your ingredients from, so you need to, like basically look at multiple options, and then, link everything together and deliver everything on time. And apart from this, logistics. Logistics is really important. Yeah, and the main thing is, okay, let's say if you had capital, it's actually easy to figure all these things out because you can outsource most of the stuff.
Yeah.
But when you're involved in every aspect of the business, you will miss out on a few things. That is a sad reality, and I mean, we just have to take it with a pinch of salt, I guess.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing you say is that it's really good to try to identify multiple sources.
Yes.
If one is out or has trouble with getting the ingredients in, then you have an alternative.
Yeah, you always need to have, like 3 to 4 suppliers, as a backup. You just cannot be dependent on one. It's not practical. Yeah.
I agree with that. I would agree with that. Any issues with employees or people side of it? I know you're a small operation at this point,
Yes.
being a startup, but
with the employees, I mean, we don't have, like many employees, it's just, I mean, we are just 3 partners at the moment. But again, the main issue is of time, not finding time, I would say creating time, because I've realized as an entrepreneur that you cannot manage the time, you have to create more time, so creating time, like apart from doing all these things, I guess that is the main challenge that we are facing. And yeah, like for sure, finances is another problem, because we could have, bought that time with finances.
exactly.
So
And
it's
then,
connected.
yeah, you could leverage your time if you could hire out some other things done by experts in that, and so that you could leverage where your real expertise is. You'll get there, because I have no doubt. Well, how has working in the food industry, have you worked in the food industry before? Is this your first go at it, or how has it changed your perspective?
Yes, I'm also employed at the moment, and I have, so basically I'm basically working in the food industry, at the moment. And so basically all 3 of the partners are employed in the food industry. I am basically involved, like with the process control and the production part. And I have 2 other partners, so one of them is a quality manager, and the other guy is doing shelf life studies and stability studies. And apart from that, all 3 of us have the FSSC 22000 background, which is the benchmark scheme of GFSI. Yeah, so basically this is our background. And how my perspective has changed. Well, that's a very good question. I would say I've realized that it is simple and complex at the same time. It's simple and complex at the same time, because there are a lot of aspects to it. And it's all about perspective on how you're looking at things. Even if you see at the current trend what is going on, so we have this plant-based, and we have this vegan option, and then there is this meat industry, like the I would say, it's all about the perspective. And my perspective has shaped because of because of my own thinking. I mean, I only do what makes sense to me. So at this point, what I'm doing at True Choice, it makes sense to me. And we have managed to get a few customers, which means, I mean, which validates the fact that it is also making sense to them. Yeah, so this is my perspective at the moment, but it might change.
Yes. Well, that's a great perspective. And I enjoy you sharing really what that is.
Yes.
For our audience, if you could explain a little bit about the background that you described, what exactly does that mean that all 3 of you have?
Okay, the FSSC 22000. So FSSC 22000, it is basically a certification scheme. So we basically have this global food safety initiative, and under that they have several schemes. We have SQF, we have NSF, then we have FSSC 22000, etc. So it is basically a scheme, and it has certain standards. So let's say if you have a food company, so a food company is supposed to have the food safety management system. So what we do is, so like with the help of FSSC 22000, we audit the FSMS of a company against that standard, to ensure the highest level of food quality. So food quality and safety as well, and like safety in this industry is everything. So FSSC 22000 is a benchmark scheme of GFSI. So
Thank you. I think that, yeah,
Yeah.
that's we have a pretty broad audience, and I just wanted to
Right.
define what that means, because
Yeah.
that is a really important thing for any food manufacturer, which is essentially what you are, to be paying attention to the
Yes.
safety and the process that your company is going through to produce the food, and to
Yes.
know that you're certified in that is really a point of excellent credibility for you and your partners. So I wanted to bring that out. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience about your company, what you're doing, future plans for other products that you might be thinking about, anything like that?
Yes, we do have a few products in the pipeline, which we would like to get into, but this is not the right time. Like right now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out ways to build brand value and get the message out, So I guess starting with your podcast, yeah. So I'm actually looking for a few more in the future, like with the help of which we can actually get the message out. And yes, the future would be to build a business that is sustainable. And I guess sustainable business is basically an alignment of three things. It's brand value, is business integrity, and the proper allocation of capital, which contains human capital and the money. Yeah, so the future and our main vision is to build a sustainable business and make good quality products that people can enjoy guilt-free.
I want to thank you, Vikas Nair from True Choice Foods. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much for being with us today and sharing your wisdom and your enthusiasm for the innovation that you're bringing to the food industry with our audience.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Future Foodcast. Future Foodcast is powered by Farm to Plate, the leading food blockchain platform. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts to stay up to date with the very latest innovations in the food industry.